want to ask Ethan a few questions about Kenya, if you don't mind. And while at it, we can spread a little message. Take this mic.
All right.
That's thing to. Okay, cool. All right. So, Ethan, my first question I want to ask you is this. Now, I know we talked about different things and different experiences, but let's dive into the kids a little bit.
Okay.
What would you say is the number one thing that stood out to you about those kids?
The number one thing that stood out to me was definitely the excitement that they all had on their faces. You know, you come to another country, everybody expects a certain stereotype of an American. And so I think we definitely gave them that. We definitely did. You know, we're handing out high fives, we're handing out snacks, we're just big old smiles on our faces. So we were definitely the stereotypical American, and I think they were very excited to see that. And then as the days went by and as we got to know them more, it was just a really happy experience. The happiness just continued and flowed out constantly. So
Now, I want to dive into a story a little bit that I remember hearing that you spoke a lot in Kenya, and I'm just going to let you tell the story, specifically about the kids and the children's story.
about the kids, right? Okay, so I'm going to be honest, I'm not the best missionary out there. I am not out there to preach at all. I'm not going to do a worship talk. I don't like doing worship talks. I was really wondering, what am I doing here? I don't want to be here and speak in front of a bunch of people at the marketplace. And so I found that the best missionary service that I could give was myself. So I just had to be myself around the kids. So I took up the task of playing games. I became the gym teacher. And so every day, I'm just out there in the sun, in the dust, just playing games, bringing smiles, running around, carrying kids on my back, getting my hair ruffled up, just constantly feeling gross. But you know what? It was all worth it just because of the smiles. And so somebody else noticed that. Mr. Passos, he noticed that for sure. He comes up to me and he says, "Son, I have a question for you." "Oh yeah? I see that you've been happier here than I've seen you in a long time." "Oh yeah, you think?" "I see the kids really like you too." "Yeah, I think so. Would you like to do the children's story this Saturday?" You got me there, Mr. Passos. So he got me with the flattery, and now I had to do children's story. I had to do the very thing that I didn't want to do, speak. So I was like, okay, what am I going to talk to kids about? I don't know. So I just kind of let it marinate in my head for a couple days. I'm like, what could I possibly offer kids in another country? We don't really have the same experiences. We don't really find the same values in certain lessons. And so I was like, what am I going to tell them? Got it. I am in my children's story right now. So what I was thinking was, I could remember back in time to when certain teenagers would take time out of their day and just spend it with me. They didn't have to. They would just play games with me, talk to me a little bit, hang out with me, made me feel like the coolest person on earth. And that's what I was doing for these kids. And so I was like, that's perfect. Because I had become a fan favorite. I was earning nicknames. I was oh boy. Green Man, the Maasai Baboon, the Captain Man, and a couple others. So I was making a name for myself in Kenya. And yeah, so so I loved them, they loved me. And so I was like, okay, this is perfect. So we get to Saturday, and I'm ready to tell the story. I go up front, and I was going to tell about my personal superheroes, who they were in my life. And so I get up there, I start speaking, and I'm like, okay, why don't I just ask the kids who their personal superheroes are, right? Parents, siblings, stuff. So I go up to them. Who's your superhero? God. Oh, that's a good one. You're jumping the gun, kid. I was going to get there. Okay, who's your superhero? My dad. That's a good one. And then I get up to this little kid. I wasn't expecting much. I had been spending a lot of time with him, and he just says, you. Just stares directly into my eyes. I tried to play that off.
I'm sorry. I just need a louder please. Thank you.
I tried to play that off so hard, but it really touched my heart. You know, how many times a day do you get a little kid you barely know come up to you and say that you are their superhero? Do you think that you are a superhero in somebody's life? Like, genuinely think about that. So, I'd never really heard that before. Nobody's told me that. So it really spoke to me. And I just thought, man, I didn't have to preach a big sermon. I didn't really have to do anything at all. I just had to play a few games, make a few kids smile, and I became a superhero. So I think just being yourself, you really didn't have to do much on this mission trip to touch lives of kids. And that's what spoke to me the most. Now, I believe that I had two ministries on this trip. One was the children's ministry, in which I was myself and I played games. And then the other ministry was the drunk person ministry. This was not an assigned job. This was something that found me. So, we were preaching in a market. And as you can see, everybody's just kind of lined up against these buildings. There's a couple super loud speakers right there. And Mr. Passos, he's just preaching and preaching. And everything's going great. I'm sitting there doing nothing, and everything's good. Until this man shows up. So, he's just kind of stumbling around, you know. If you've ever seen a drunk, I don't know if you have, but these African drunks are just kind of like, best I can describe are zombies. They're just kind of shuffling around. You see them, they have these red eyes. They're not really focused. And so this guy, his name is Dominique, and he just pops out of the alleyway. And so he's just going around. He sits in the dirt for a bit. Then while Mr. Passos is preaching, he's just kneeling there and just kind of like waving his arms and stuff, just kind of distracting. And so a couple of the local elders, they try to move him away, you know. And I think, oh, great, okay. We got rid of him. No, we didn't. We did not get rid of him. He came back again and again and again, no matter how many times the elders would take him away. And so you know the old saying, if you can't beat him, join him. So I was like, you know what? I don't want to do this. I've never done anything like this. This isn't America. There are no drunk people in America. I'll go get him a chair. So I get him a chair. I'm like, hey, brother, I got a chair for you. It's in an inconvenient location, but I was like, you know what? Maybe he'll sit down. So I give him a chair. He's like, thank you, brother. Thank you. You are very kind, brother. I'm like, yes, stay there. And I give him a water bottle. And so all is well. All is well. One of the local ladies, she moves the chair over to where all the Americans are sitting. So he's a drunk man, and now he needs some entertainment. And there's a bunch of Americans. So what better entertainment than to get to know the Americans, right? He just kind of shuffles on up. And he wants to shake people's hands, some of the girls' hands and stuff. And so I was like, oh boy, he's going to cause trouble. So he was being a little distracting, and I was like, okay, I need to babysit him now. I need to become his friend. I need to act like a drunk man. So I went and I got his chair. And at first, we're just kind of sitting there, and I'm like, brother, come and sit down. Come and sit down. Here's another bottle for you, some water. And so he's like, oh, thank you, my brother, thank you. I love you, my brother. You're the best brother. I'm like, yes. And so for the next 30 to 45 minutes, I'm just kneeling there next to this guy. And the conversation just keeps going around something like this. My brother, I love you so much, my brother. Oh, I love you too, my guy. Thank you. My brother, why do you like Kenya so much? Well, I like Kenya because of all the good food, I like chapati. Oh, my brother, one of these days, we will go and get all the chapati you want at the marketplace. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. And so it just keeps going on and on and on. My brother, whatever you say, I will be right there with you. Yeah, I got a drunk man on my side now. So we're just going around like this for as long as possible, and then pretty soon I get tired of that. And so Mr. Jackson, he comes over, and now he's acting like a drunk man too. We're both making friends with a drunk man. So we're just tag teaming them, babysitting them, trying to get them to sit down and just having the best time. And so all this time, we're just babysitting him. No religious talk, no nothing. We just thought we need to minimize the distraction. That was our one goal. It was a good goal. And so he stayed there the whole meeting into the night, and I thought we were never going to see him again. I said, goodbye, brother. We will see you again tomorrow here. Okay, my brother. Bye, my brother. Yeah, we saw him again. The next day, he comes along, stumbling like a zombie. My brother, eh. I'm like, he's back. I was hoping he'd be blackout drunk. Just at home, not distracting me. I was tired from playing with kids, and now I had to babysit the drunk man, Dominique. But that day, he was better. He was more sober. And we just sat down. I'm there kneeling right next to him with my arm around him, just trying to be the seatbelt, making sure he doesn't get up. And he just starts talking to me. My brother, God is good. Oh, yeah? Why? Because you are a good brother. I love you, my brother. I love you too, Dominique. Yeah. All right. My brother, it is the Lord's Day tomorrow, and I want to go with you to church. I didn't mention church. I didn't mention anything. There was no religious talk coming from my lips. I was not trying to convert this guy at all. And he's there saying that he wanted to go to church because he loves his brother. I didn't have to do anything. And so that also touched my heart, because even if you don't spout any religious words from your mouth, you can still be used. You just have to be friendly. Now, that is my brother, Dominique. Right there. Unfortunately, we didn't see him again after that, but I like to think that he's still looking for his brother, or at least the church where his brother goes. So, that was one of many drunk ministry stories from Ethan Green. And just know that even if you aren't the best missionary out there, all you have to do is make friends, be yourself, and hopefully it will touch hearts.